I can start to say that you were an amazing audience. So applause for you.
I think one of the most fun thing about this job is to traveling to all these cultures and show the work to different cultures, yeah. And I think with you it was very interesting because for me a concentrated audience is great, you know.
The creative process, I think we had around 9 weeks approximately to create this.
And but I mean, a year in my head before.
Yeah. You know, in an organization like Göteborg Soprans Dance Company, the idea needs to be delivered a year before we start. Idea is delivered and then a technical delivery or that explaining all the set, everything that the dancers have to have, you know, with the props, everything. So it's a much longer process. We always do commissioned works. It means that we get the choreographers and they create the pieces in Gothenburg for the dancers there, and that becomes a co-creative process. Very often a collective process, which is extremely inspiring for both parts, I would say. And then they meet at a level and we can grow from there and highlight each other.
I try to always surprise, you know, and I think that suddenly this random talk show in the middle of the piece is quite interesting that it shifts so fast, you know, it's like you're in another world suddenly. But it is also making fun a lot of this kind of false behavior which is out there, you know, so which is a lot of surface and, you know, acting like that. So I think it serves a purpose in the piece, actually, the fakeness, you know. And when I made this piece, I was very like, you know, when do we act or not? Like that, what Shakespeare says, you know, the world is the stage and everybody is an actor, or that saying, you know. And these days with social media, when do we act and when do we not act? You know, there's so many cameras around, right? So I think it's sort of a parody, a satire of that thing. Yeah, it's an image where when we scroll, I guess that we are sort of in our own cloud head, you know. And I thought actually those clouds were, during the creation, they were in the piece first on stage. But then it didn't fit, or somehow, you know, when you create you have to edit and take things out and puzzle around and try and work. Yeah. So then they ended up in the foyer as a sort of intermission situation. Yeah.
Whoever wrote this, to create a chemistry in a group is maybe the most important thing when you lead a company or when you lead anything. Because it's a shared responsibility. No one does anything alone. It's teamwork the whole way through. So we need to build a strong team around us. And I focus very much on, when I recruit dancers, on the human perspective. And that we all see the big picture, that we are all in the same boat and we have the same aim, going towards the same direction.
And you have succeeded. I love to, when I make a piece, I love to have a clear subject, you know. And Act 1 is altruism, so there everything is soft. You see two faces on the floor, seeing each other, loving each other. And then I try to just get ideas which will express this concept, you know. And then it's the opposite with Act 2, you know. Then it's very ego, hard, you know. The movement is very different like that. So everything is based on those two that's the main foundation of the piece. And, you know, the whole piece is sort of a philosophical idea I had about our egos, you know. We started talking with the team, like when our egos get, you know how we say like, oh, this person's ego is so big, what a big ego. And then I started thinking of the ego more like it's something that sometimes gets sort of cemented for us, you know. So then I thought, when our egos get too cemented, that's when we need a hammer, you know. So then you see this in the piece, you have the hammer hanging there the whole time, you know.